Hey everybody, I'm Petra Monaco with the Rebels Den, and today with me I have Tyler Morris and Joseph, sorry, that's how I would say it in German, uh, from Misgiving, and I'm excited to talk to you guys. I've seen you a couple of times already at a show, so you're musicians,
Awesome.
in case anybody's confused about that. And funny enough, Tyler was like, "You're not gonna ask me any boring questions, are you?"
Uh, yeah, I'm pretty straightforward. I'm a really blunt person, and I feel like that's just the best way to get the point across. And so I'm really glad that you didn't take that the wrong way, because I totally
No,
could see how people would.
absolutely. Now, the point of my conversations with people is about the the goals and aspirations for one, right? Like, what are your goals? So you guys are in a band, yay!
Yeah.
But the
Sometimes.
challenge for some people is getting started. To make that a thing, to make that happen. And I'm pretty intuitive, and I know you said something at the last show, trying to bump them up. Let's make them feel good. Not to expose too much on here because I don't want to make anybody
hmm
uncomfortable. But that,
No, it's okay. We're pretty transparent.
with being in a band and a goal, there comes the struggle. And I would
Yeah.
love for you guys to share some of that, because that's the side that other people don't really see. They go to the show and they see you jumping on stage, doing your thing, but I don't see the what it takes to keep going.
I'll let him actually handle this one, because he's definitely been I guess the one in that mindset like lately. We've kind of had some ups and downs, and it was nothing personal. Like, there was never bad blood or anything. Like, we weren't like arguing. Like, it was just like a lot of life situations happening, and I think he was the one that was kind of in that kind of struggle mindset when it came to the band. So I'll kind of let him take the wheel on that one.
I mean, yeah, it was a struggle for a while. With having a full-time job, I work sometimes 7 days a week with no breaks, and trying to be in a full-time band on top of a full-time career job is very stressful. On top of, I just had a baby, so that makes life a little bit harder. Right, yeah, and then it's just there's a lot of factors that go into it that you're right, people don't see. They just see us on stage having a good time, and it looks like it's the greatest time in the world, which it is. I love it. Being on stage is awesome, and having the fan interaction, and it's so much fun. But sometimes it's hard to weigh the pros and cons of being in a band, and a lot of times the cons outweigh the pros, and so it just makes it really hard. But it's something that me and Tyler have been talking about a lot, and figuring out a direction of where we want to go, and actually have have a solid plan this time around. Our last EP was, I don't want to say it was very rushed, but it was, we didn't really have a set direction we wanted to go. We had very little promotion. We had very little everything. I mean, minus the writing and all that. I mean, writing, we took, a year to write 5
Yeah, we
songs?
took about a year to write. Like, yeah, and like it was a process where like we would write like a bunch of songs and be like, all right, this is our next EP, and then we'd be like, nah, and then we'd trash all those songs, and we'd write another like set of songs. We'd be like, this is gonna be it, and then we'd be like, nah, and like so we really took our time with it, because our first EP we blew through it in like 2 months. We wrote, recorded everything, and we just wanted to have. We were really just hungry for the attention and everything. We wanted to have the content. We wanted to have a name. We wanted to be out there. And as soon as we did that, we immediately started writing for another release. And it's so funny because we'll go back, like we do this so often. We'll get together and we'll start listening to all the old stuff we wrote, and we'd be like, what were we thinking? Or like, oh, I forgot all about this. Like, why don't we use this? And like, so we go through it a lot. But yeah, I think as you were saying, like sometimes it does feel like you'll get into mindsets where it feels like, you know, what am I doing this for really? And like, you know, do the pros really outweigh the cons? And sometimes it feels like, you know, they don't, but you know, you'll get that like one interaction with a fan, or that, you know, that one moment at a show or whatever that like really solidifies it for you, and it just kind of hits you and you're like, yeah, no, that's why I'm doing this, and like that's why I'm here, and it does make it all worth it.
Yeah, I
But
love
yeah,
that you touched on that, because I think that's definitely true for most creatives, right? Is that we get like, oh, why am I doing this? I should just stick with a job and get old and die, rather than
pretty much.
rather than following what calls you, what is your passion. For you guys, it's the music. What I love though is that you guys communicate, right?
All the
Everybody always
fucking
talks about
time.
the band. It's like a marriage type situation.
Yeah,
And in
Yeah.
yeah, like accurate.
communication is key, right? And I know you called him out and tried to make him feel better, but at the same time, I think this is really important, because you were, I think, able to see that you have the support from your people that listen to your music, right? I mean, did you get that on Friday when you guys were on stage?
Oh yeah.
Is that,
Yeah,
does that
we always
ignite you
see
like,
that.
pat
We
on the
always see
back
that
button? It's like,
support.
yes, this is it.
Yeah, we always get that support. It's always great. Like whenever we play shows, like it's always people are always very receptive. We always like have people come out and talk to us afterwards and be like, "Hey, that was a great set," you know, or "This is the second or third time I've seen you guys, and like, you know, I really like you guys." And you know, we even get people that message us sometimes being like, "This song has changed my life," or "It's impacted me in this way," and you know, that's that like solidifying factor where like I just can't really give up on it, because that's what I personally set out to do with this. But yeah, I think that definitely being in this band has that's what started me and Joseph's friendship, and it's really kept us like really close, like probably closer than most individuals should be. Um, and yeah, I talk to this dude like every day for like hours a day, like yeah, like to the
Oh,
point
that's
where
really
our significant others are like, you know what, why are we even here? Like we don't, they don't need us.
Well, I
And
don't think
so he's it's
necessarily there's
probably
anything wrong with that, though, right? Because that's the kind of
yeah,
support you have to get through some of the
yeah,
struggles, through some of the hard stuff. You know, you guys able to call each other out. You guys to say, "Hey, this is why we're doing it. We have a show coming up. Let's give it our all." And be like,
yeah.
"Yes."
And it was difficult in the beginning because neither one of us knew how to like be in a band, but we knew how to be friends. And I think that's what's propelled this like the entire time, is just because like there have been times where like maybe something didn't go the way we wanted, or maybe we didn't, you know, communicate something to one another the right way, and we've just kind of learned how to fix that throughout the whole thing, and been like, hey, you know, next time this happens, we should, you know, do this differently, or maybe just say this next time or whatever. And we've always been super like upfront and like honest with each other. And I think that, you know, me calling him out on stage was just me just being like, you know, basically letting him know like, hey, you know, like, fuck you, this is happening right now. Like, and like, I want people to know what's going on, and I want you to like understand that like these people are here for all of us. And it was just kind of a wake up call sort of thing. I think the best thing about us doing this together is that very we care about each other a lot, and so we just want the best for each other, the best for the band. And if that means, you know, in front of, you know, 50 to 100 people saying like, hey, this guy's thinking about quitting, make him not want to quit anymore, then yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But
1 second,
definitely,
guys.
yeah, no worries.
Yeah, no, I didn't take it as a bad thing. I thought that was actually maybe one of the most supportive things I've seen. Um, you know,
Yeah,
I run in the circles a little bit, so I'm at every season show usually anyway. So I'm in Richmond all the time, and I've seen you, and I've seen Great Fun and some of the other bands, and I know you guys tend to be really, really tight, which is
yeah,
pretty amazing considering that people well, the music industry wants you to believe that there's a competition and you need to cut everybody's throat, right? I mean, that's what people want you to
Right.
think. Let's be honest about that. But every time I come to one of your shows or some of the other guys' shows, it's one of the best things I get to experience. You know, Grapevine coming on stage with you, you supporting it. I think that was the first show I've seen you, maybe March. And he had a sore throat or some kind of throat issue, and you jumped right in and you just helped him out and supported him. And it was beautiful, right? Like that lack of just utterly support. That's what I love about.
Yeah, he was sick, and he called me. And me and Jared have been friends for a while. He called me and he was like, "Hey man, look, like, you know, this is what's going on. I'm not going to be able to do all the vocals. I need someone to help me." And I was like, "Yeah, man." And I already knew their songs, so you know, I just hopped in and helped him, and it was a really fun experience, man. And like, I loved doing it. And so, you know, we just try to do that. We try to help each other out, like hop in each other's sets for the fun of it, just because, and you know, just spread the love. And I think that's the best thing about the Richmond, Virginia scene right now is like the toxicity level is very low. We all just want to see each other succeed, and we all just want to be there for one another. You know,
and that's what
everybody just works together.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, every time I go to one of y'all's shows, I feel that in every way. Like there's so much love in that group, specifically that I'm familiar with, right? And I'm sure there are others, but it's, you know, again, because in this world, we're supposed to compete with each other so that we all get ahead.
That's what they want you to believe.
But you guys are just like, screw that.
Oh, it's funny because, like, no joke, like, don't get it twisted. Like, there's definitely a little bit of a rivalry between some of us, like, and, you know, but I think it's all, like, in friendly competition, and we all just want to propel each other with that. We don't ever want to put each other down. So it's really cool, though. I love all those guys. You know, Kyle stood in for us the other night, and you know, he did a great job. And, you know, it's stuff like that. You know, if anybody needs a hand, we're all willing to jump in and make that happen.
Yeah, I love that. All right. So what is the impact you want to create with your music? What is sort of the storylines? Because here's the thing. I'm a big metalhead. I go way back because I'm old. Not really. But a lot of people say, well, I can't understand the words, right? I mean, that's the reality. People are like, I can't understand the words. What's your impact the message behind your songs that you are trying to share with everybody?
Well, okay, so there's two sides to this, because like, although I do like the lyrics and like I you know, I do like the melodies and the storylines for the videos, I think that they all start somewhere where I'm not involved in a weird sort of way. Like Joseph is the one who sits down and he comes up with, like, you know, our songs for the most part. He's like our primary songwriter. He's at home, he's writing these songs, like, yeah. So he's writing like these songs, and then he'll shoot them over to me and he'll be like, "Hey, I just wrote this, check it out." And, you know, I'll listen to it. And then usually what happens is, as soon as I hear it, I grab my phone and I just start typing stuff out. And, you know, I get these ideas. They're like, it's like a spark of inspiration, and then we roll with it. So it doesn't always come out great. Sometimes it's just that immediate like click, and then we have these songs. So I'm going to let him take the wheel on this to start, and I'll probably finish it. But yeah, since he's the one, you know, because like I only do the lyrics and the melodies for vocals, but he writes all the music. So I'm going to let him start.
I mean, I don't ever have a direction I'm going for. I kind of just, whatever I'm listening to, either that week or that day, I'll either get like just some type of riff or a melody in my head and kind of go from there. And, you know, typical song structure for, I want to say typical song structure for guitarists is obviously they usually come up with a riff first or some type of chord progression, something. I usually write ass backwards. I usually make a drum pattern first, and then I write guitar. Because I drive a lot for work, so I'll be driving somewhere, and I'll just get this pattern in my head, and I'll play it the whole way home. and then I go from there. But no, I mean, I really never have a direction that I go for. I mean, obviously I want to stick to our similar sound because I do think, not to toot our own horn, but I do think we have somewhat of a unique sound that
Yeah.
the other Richmond bands don't have, which I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to sound cocky saying that, but, you know, I always want to stick close to that, but I don't want to write the same thing twice. You know, I want to constantly change it up and progress and grow within, you know, whether it's every song we release or even every song that I write. I want to try something different or try, you know, just do new things. And Tyler can't say he doesn't write a little bit. He don't let him fool you. But yeah, that's honestly where it starts. You know, it starts with me coming up with just something very basic, or just getting the skeleton of a song down, and then I'll send it over to him, and essentially we go from there. And whether we either stick with it or I'll shoot it to him, and we'll like it for like a week, be super crazy about it, and then we'll either forget about it because I wrote something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
and
how
then,
it goes.
you know, we come.
I think any creative is going to be able to relate with that.
Yeah, it happens.
So, but more specific, your lyrics. Are there a specific point where they come from that you draw the inspiration from? Are they just kind of like, oh yeah, this sounds great to write about or sing about, or is this like more like meaningful, right?
All
like,
of that, actually.
All of it?
Yeah, all of that. Like, I mean, it's weird. Like everything you mentioned, actually, that it's like either they're like autobiographical and they're about like moments in my life or feelings that I have had or that I am having. Or like you said, sometimes I'll just think about like concepts or ideas and I'll be like, you know, that would be cool. And usually I try to stick to things that will make people think or be impactful. Like I don't like writing cliche things. And I think that's another thing that sets us apart from people is like you can go through everything we've ever written in all of our lyric booklets and you won't find, you know, any cliches. You won't find me saying things like, and forgive me for all the vocalists who are about to hear this, but me saying like, the walls are closing in on me, or like, I'm drowning in the undertow, or like what, like I try to avoid all of that. And I want to be honest. I want to be sincere. I want to be transparent. And I want to say things that either haven't been said before or give you a fresh take on something that, you know, possibly has been touched on. Our most popular song by far is Absolution. I mean, it was the song we did a video for. It was a song, you know, that was our single. And just being transparent with everybody, you know, that song was about like my recovery from when I was younger, just being reckless and doing drugs. And just, I think that I may have screwed up a lot for myself in the future by making the decisions that I made. And the whole idea was if I could go back and speak to myself, like, you know, years ago, would that person be proud of the person that I became? And would they forgive me for all of the stupid mistakes that I made and possibly, you know, changing our future? And are they okay with where we currently are? And so that's what the whole idea behind it was. Fun fact, my daughter is actually the girl in the video.
Love that.
And yeah, so yeah, it was a great time. I loved shooting that video. It was great. The director was amazing. I mean, like, it got really emotionally heavy though when we started shooting some of the scenes of like the storyline where like me and my daughter Evelyn were sitting across from each other, and you know, I'm messing with like the fake needle and all this other stuff. Like, it got pretty tense because like it was quiet and we're just shooting this and we're supposed to be like really like emotional. And like, yeah, I just remember like we shot one scene and it was real quiet, and then afterwards someone was just like, fuck, like like
Yeah, I can feel
There's
that now still, just you talking about it, I can feel that. But I think that it does set your music apart. It does. You bring that real life bullshit that you've been through, and maybe even Joseph has been through it in different ways. Because we all have our own stories, our own struggle in different areas, different mistakes, bullshit things we have done. So I love
yeah,
that.
definitely.
I really, really love that. Um, so we're gonna slowly wrap this. I'm actually gonna write a little blog about this so everybody can check that out as well.
Awesome.
Put all the links in that blog post so people can go like your stuff, check it out. But before we leave, what is your
Yeah.
advice for anybody wanting to follow their passions and dreams and goals and things? Both of you get to answer that.
All right, you go ahead. I'm gonna think about this for a second because I don't want to be like, giving shitty advice to people.
Um, I mean, don't give up. That's really all I have
Yeah.
to I can say. I mean, I know it's like the worst cliche ever.
I know you're just
Yeah,
talking about
Joseph.
cliches.
Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, don't give up. Yeah, no,
It's just the
he's
worst
right.
cliche, but it's true. I mean, no matter how tough it gets or how stressful it is, or just the difficulty, and even I've had to learn that obviously recently, and you just can't give up, and that's really about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right, man. I mean, that's just definitely like, don't give up, and man, don't let anybody tell you that you can't. It's more of these cliches, but like if you really have your heart set on doing something, it's it's one of those things, like, don't let anything stop you. Like, there may be obstacles, but as long as you actually genuinely really want to do it, like, you can find a way to make it happen. Like, the whole "where there's a will, there's a way" thing is very accurate. Like, I mean, shoot, like, we before we met and started working on music together, I can't tell you how many bands I tried out for and I actually got turned down for. Um, uh, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I tried to start a music project and it just fell through. I mean, I know Joseph was working on music by himself for a long time, and then like we finally met like years later, and now like honestly, we're really doing it. And what makes this, I think what makes it easier in our like situation is like I'm getting to make music with my best friend, like with somebody who I wholeheartedly like love and trust with like everything. And so for me, it's like it's a lot easier because I'm not doing it alone. And so if you can find someone that shares that passion with you, like definitely, like not having to go through it alone makes it so much easier. But if you are going it alone, like you said, like don't give up. Where there's a will, there definitely is a way, and just don't let anybody put you down. And learn how to take criticism. That's another thing. Learn how to take criticism.
Yes.
Like, because like if someone tells you like I don't like that, don't get offended and just give up or whatever. Like, not everybody's gonna like what you do. There are people that probably fucking hate what we do, and like I do not care at all. Like
Yes.
at all. Like, and it took me a while to get to that point, like at first. I think with
My own
our project,
cliche,
I've always felt that way.
my own
I
cliche
think
that
with
somebody
our
told
project, I've always felt that way.
was you can't
What's up?
have the cake and eat it too. And I'm going, watch me, I'm not
Yeah.
eating that cake, right? Like
No, it's true though. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, not everyone's gonna like what you do.
Yep.
So I mean, just brace for it. Like, and not everybody who dislikes what you do is a fucking hater. I honestly I hate that term. Like, people can have opinions. It's okay, but find your audience. There will be someone who likes it, and there will be people who support you. And yeah, I mean, honestly, living in this day and age with the internet existing is the
7.3
best thing in
billion
the world
people
for
in the
people who
world.
are creative. Yeah, it's the best thing in the world for people who are creative at this point, because you can just easily like create something and find your audience, and find, like, you can tailor advertisements to specific demographics and all this stuff. So like if you're really serious about content creation, the internet is the best place. Social media is your best friend and your worst enemy, and just really just go at it.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for spending time with me on this late
Yeah,
Tuesday.
of course.